Okay, hello again. This is now tarot lesson number 52. And these are my notes, as you can see. So, I sit around and I wonder what to talk about or what I'm going to say. And then I've got various thoughts in my mind, and then I maybe scribble out something like this that tells me, or that reminds me of the order in which I'm going to present the information. And today, there was a comment from Susan, who is struggling a bit with reversed cards, because she'll turn a card and if it's reversed, let's see if I can get a reverse card here. She immediately sees the negative. And so she'll take a look at a card and the upright version, like the Three of Batons, for instance, as being, let's say, good. But then if it's upside down, she'll immediately go to the negative interpretation of it. So she asked for a comment. So I'm going to ramble on for a while about different things. And this is what I've got here. First thing I wrote, an REV, that means reversed. So it's easy to look at a card and think, if it's upright, it's good. If it's upside down, it's not good. But we have to get, well, you don't have to do anything, but it's a good idea to get out of that habit, because the Nine of Cups is the wish card. And so if the Nine of Cups is upright, it means all your wishes are going to come true. Whereas if the Nine of Cups is upside down, your wishes are not going to come true to the same extent. And we can think that it's good to have the Nine of Cups upright. But the thing is, if somebody telling you that your wishes are going to come true means that you don't make any effort, or you just lie around and wait for things to fall into your lap, then it's not such a good card. Whereas the Nine of Cups reversed, indicating that your wishes are not going to come true without you making an effort. You know, it's that kind of idea, because we can float through life and not be really involved in it, and things happen or don't happen. But if we're sort of more actively involved in doing things and in trying to make things work, or in thinking about things, or in focusing in certain directions, things are going to be better. And there's a sense of satisfaction, I think, for the individual. So the other thing, so that's part of it. Also, if you look outside and it's a sunny day, you can think, okay, that's a good thing. It's going to be a nice day. But if, as is happening in different parts of the world, you're experiencing drought, and you look out the window and it's another sunny day, that's not what you want. So that's why, that's that sun there. So if you turn a card and think immediately, what does it mean? Right, there's judgment. What does it mean? Somehow, you're in a box, right? That's meant to be a box. And so I think looking at meanings, or trying to come up with a card's meaning, sort of encloses you or puts you in a box. And it's like, it stops you developing ideas. So there's a link in the description below for this. It's a video about a Hungarian mathematician called George Polya, and the thing is, how to solve it is the name of the book that he wrote, and it's partly about mathematics, but it's also about everything. If you get any kind of a problem, he tells you the 4 steps you need to go through to solve the problem. So, instead of looking at the judgment card and thinking, what does it mean? I think what we do is we figure out what's going on, because step number 1 for Polya is understand the problem. And I think what we do is not it's maybe the point is it's important to understand the card. So if we've got a card like the judgment card, instead of thinking, is this good or is it bad, or what does it mean, or what does it mean the fact that it's upside down, I think we take a bit of time. And this is the reason for doing practice on your own with particular questions, because you don't have to give an answer at that moment to the questioner. So we look at the card and we see what we've got here, and we've got an angel. So I've got this little diagram, this bit of a diagram here. Sometimes that's you, right, the circle, and that's the answer, and it's right beside you. So one step and you're there, or one change and things are better. But sometimes that's you, and the answer's over here, and you've got to go this way, up and down, to get to the answer, or to take multiple steps before you can get to the answer. And this is obvious, but it's easy to forget. So if you find that you've got a situation and that's the answer, and you don't quite know how to get from here to here, you're not supposed to beat yourself up, because sometimes there's an easy answer, or there's an easy solution, or one step will take you to the point that you want to get to. Other times you have to go up and down, or go round and round, or take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And it's just the way things are. So instead of, and this is the other little diagram here, this may be a mess, this whole video. Instead of look at a card and the answer is a straight line, maybe what we do is we make all sorts of little dots where we've got the judgment card. So we've got an angel, and we write down angel, and we've got a trumpet blowing. So the trumpet blowing can mean somebody or something is trying to get your attention. So what are you listening for? What are you hearing? And that can be part of the answer that you give the questioner. Again, it depends on the question, but we've got an angel, which is probably a good thing, or a good idea, or an upright, honourable person who's trying to get your attention, or who's trying to point out mistakes that you're making, or a good direction in which to go. And all these thoughts, all these individual points are little dots that we've got here around the card. Rather than have one meaning or the correct meaning, we want multiple bits and pieces. Then once we've spent a bit of time coming up with various random ideas that connect to this picture and this card, then anything that we say, or the way we talk about the card, is going to be correct and going to be more accurate. So what else have we got here? We've got the angel and the trumpet. Maybe the wings are important. At this point, I'm not sure what to say about wings, but I could maybe write it down or think about wings. Does this mean that we're meant to wings? If you've got wings, you can fly. So maybe with the judgment card, you're meant to fly. You're meant to elevate yourself, or elevate the situation, or elevate the people, or elevate something. And if you fly, you separate from the earth. So you're no longer directly involved in the situation. And so by the wings, that can make you think, okay, it's important to get some separation between the problem or the situation and you and the way you're thinking about it. And then we've got, what else have we got? We've got coffins, which can make you think of isolation, or being trapped, or being confined, or maybe. So then the question is, who confined you? Did other people do it to you, or did you do it to yourself? Because a lot of people, we spend a lot of time creating problems for ourselves just by the way we think and by what we assume. And I wrote down assume there, and I've got another piece of paper. So assume, somebody told me years ago, assume, ASS. If you assume anything, you make an ass out of you and me. Assume. So rule number one, I think that's why rule number one is assume nothing. So we can't look at the judgment card and automatically or immediately think this is good or this is bad. So going back to Susan and her question about reverse cards, don't jump. Or if you jump to conclusions or jump to a meaning, a lot of the times you're going to get it wrong or you're going to doubt. Whereas if you can take a bit of time and create little dots around the picture, then when you've come up with various random ideas, then when you think, okay, what does the card mean? You will automatically speak more wisely and speak more knowledgeably about what the card would mean as the answer to the question that you asked or that has been asked. Speaking of the question that was being asked, let's say the question is, a couple of videos ago I talked about 5 questions, practice questions, and you choose a card for each of the questions. So last time I think, how do I improve? Let's say how do I improve is the question, and judgment is the answer. Because we've thought about the angel and the trumpet and the coffins and the self-imposed isolation and the response to the angel blowing the trumpet, then how do you improve? You start listening to what's going on around you or what is trying to get your attention. So you can, and what's trying to get your attention, it doesn't have to be something uplifting. It can be something, maybe you come in your front door every day and you see a mess of shoes all over the place. And every time you come in the front door, you think to yourself, I really ought to tidy up the shoes. That can be what the angel is saying. The angel is trying to tell you, tidy up after yourself, or tidy up and make small improvements that way. And that's how you get bigger and better. Because the angel doesn't have to be, a beautiful spiritual being that is going to tell you something uplifting that will totally transform your life. The angel can be something as simple as when you've finished eating, take your plate to the kitchen rather than leave it on the floor for several days gathering dust. So so if we take some time to look at the card and so with the judgment upside down, reverse, what's that going to mean? Maybe if we look at it, we've got the angel is down below. So the uplifting thoughts and the uplifting ideas are in the wrong place. I say wrong, but you know what I mean. It's just they're down below. And so maybe what you do is with the answer to how do you deal with judgment reversed is change your angle of view. Instead of looking at things, how do you go about looking at things from a different point of view? And maybe what you do is, let's say there's, you take the other person's or somebody else's point of view. So let's say you have a neighbor that you tend to disagree with, you don't think much of their opinion. Maybe what you do is put yourself in your neighbor's position and try to see things from his or her point of view. And that would be you in some way changing the angle from which you look at things. Because it's easy to assume that we are right and that other people are wrong. But there is an expression about something about you don't judge people until you've walked a mile in their shoes. something like that. And maybe that's what Judgment Reversed is about. So after all this, let's say somebody wants to know, how do I improve? And you pick a card and you get Judgment Reversed, and you say, don't judge other people until you've walked a mile in their shoes. And that's the summary of Judgment Reversed. So, I don't know what this was like. I sort of wasn't, it's not that I wasn't in the mood, but some days are more enthusiastic than others. Anyway, I'm not supposed to complain. So today is Sunday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be back on Friday with lesson number 53. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day. Okay? Bye-bye.